The college basketball experience Final Four preview for the NIT and for the NCAA tournament, as well as DFS episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, is brought to you by Cut. Cut is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that's US based and available in 40 different states. Head to cut.com. That's KUTT.com. Use that promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play their fantasy picker for a chance to win 100 times the amount of money you can enter in college hoops, NBA, MLB, NHL, and much, much more. Sign up today using the promo code TCESGPN to get a 100% deposit match. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Yes, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use that promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today, people. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
This is my team, Cleese, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Basketball experience Final Four picks for the NIT and the NCAA tournament, as well as the DFS picks. Yeah, we've dabbled in the DFS. We've been doing this shit for years. Shout out to the chat rocking along. Get on over youtube.com/the college experience. You can watch this, hit that subscribe, hit that like button, get on over to iTunes, give us a 5-star review. We need some 5 stars. All right, you go over there, you get some people throwing some slander at us. I like a good 1-star, but I mean, we need a 5-star. And shout out to the chat. Yes, Orioles just cashed -1.5 runs. Let's go Birds. Wait, wrong podcast. Folks, if you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terrorist pussy. And I'm after you, buddy. You're going to pay for it. Good night.
We got, man, is it really down to, it's really down to what? 6 games? 6 fucking games. If my math is right, but it's all over the place. So maybe I'm forgetting about one. I am joined by my co-host. Give it up for former video coordinator for Hall of Fame coach Bob Huggins and Frank Martin, host of the Big 12 College Experience, host of the Ryan and Rush Show. Give it up for Ryan McIntyre, aka Money Line Mac. How you doing, brother?
Doing good. It's like I said a couple weeks ago, cherish every moment because it'll be gone before you know it. And here we are.
Mac tonight. Come on, make it Mac tonight.
We are also, it's another case of the Mondays. We got third man in the booth. All right. What do they say in old school? We got the Godfather in the house. All right. Give it up for the host, the DFS god himself, but also one of the hosts of the college football experience, the rooftop IPA drinking, homebrew making, tobacco road living, a free lot giving, former Herndon Basketball League MVP. Give it up for NC Nick in the place to be. How you doing, buddy?
Good. What's going on, guys?
I mean, right now I'm watching my, I'm just betting on shit. You know what I mean? I'm doing good. I had, we'll just jump right into it. I had the Pussy Pack. Pussy Pack is a train that can't be stopped. And you got to go right into it.
Right away with Nick.
You were on vacation. I know. What a way to damper your vacation.
It kind of ruined my Easter Sunday.
Yeah, you're just pissed at your daughters, your wife. You're saying, don't talk to me right now. I need some me time. your thoughts on the game, because I do want to bring up a graphic here in a second that I thought, but your thoughts in general about the game, man.
Well, I thought we definitely outplayed the Wolfpack in the first half, but
Yeah.
the fact that we were only up 6 at the break, I felt like it should have been double digits. And I remember making a comment to a buddy at the time. I was like, I wonder if this is going to come back to bite us here, because we should have been up more, but man, NC State's playing outstanding defense. Like, everybody is talking about Burns, and rightfully so. But their level of defense has just risen so much higher than it was in the regular season. So you tip your cap and say, I mean, Elite Eight is still a pretty good year, and it would have been nice to get to the Final Four. But if I'm being honest, Duke really wasn't a Final Four caliber basketball team this year. So it is what it is. I'll be rooting for NC State moving forward.
Well, that brings me to my point. My next point. Noah had this graphic yesterday on last night's show. Folks didn't catch this. That's the college experience. This is the starting 5 for every team in the Elite Eight, right? And every single team has transfers except Duke in their starting 5. And I mean, really, Duke and Tennessee are really the only ones with, 4 or more players that aren't transferred. But Tennessee's best player is Dalton Connect.
Yeah,
who's a transfer. What? I know you said you want to see John Shire. I know he said this at his press conference when he got the job. He's going to attack the portal more. Do you think that is part of the reason why Duke's shortcomings?
Well, I think when you attack the portal, you probably have overall you have an older team. Like NC State, they have four graduates and a junior in their starting 5, where Duke had 3 sophomores, a senior, and a freshman. So yeah, I mean, we talked about this a little bit last week. Age at this time of the season matters, and age and experience. And when you get transfers, when you get grad transfers, you get even some of the guys at NC State have been there for a couple years, like Morcell or DJ Burns. But yes, like I said last week, I would like to see Duke utilize the transfer portal a bit more and kind of blend in the freshman talent with some high level transfers. That would be my wish.
Like, I know Duke's gone to the Final Four a lot more recently than Kentucky, but it seems to be like kind of the same issue plaguing them in a way,
right?
Where they haven't gone out and got experienced teams or experienced players. Mac, I know we touched on this last night. I don't know if you want to add anything new to it.
No, I mean, the one that stands out, my ideal model is kind of what Tennessee's been able to do, where you keep your older guys in your program, and then you add a Northern Colorado superstar in Dalton Connect, and honestly, Purdue's got the same model. They got all homegrown guys. They pay their guys based off production in their freshman, sophomore, junior years, and then you add a Southern Illinois transfer or a Northern Colorado transfer on that graphic. That's my ideal model. I think that's the most consistent way. I know UConn's kind of doing it their way as well. But last year, UConn looked a lot like Tennessee and Purdue with Andre Jackson, Sonogo, Hawkins. They more were like Tennessee and Purdue.
But they still had Tristan Newton who learned,
he was the one.
Yeah.
I mean, culture matters, and you're not going to have culture if you totally flip your roster every year, like Arkansas or something. You still might be able to catch lightning in a bottle one year where everything matches and fits and you can go deep. But I think
Alabama.
Yeah, true. But I don't know. I would like to see a blend more so than all freshman recruits or all transfers.
Agreed. I do think it's finding that fine line of, I guess finding the freshmen that are good enough to be role players and develop, and for them not to leave too. I mean, how about that? I mean, shit, DJ Burns was at Tennessee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you also, that's a culture thing though, man. I don't know. I mean, sometimes I don't think you'll have that benefit. Like the NIL, like I know Colorado's basketball NIL is weak. So their whole team left going into the Big 12, so it's like, you can't really blame Tad Boyle there. It's not his fucking fault that they can't match other schools, NIL, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know. I think there's probably a model there where if you have the NIL, you can keep, your roster intact, like say Tennessee can, or Purdue can, but also, you can't, there's certain programs that just won't be able to sustain that. You know what I mean? So, anyway, Anything else you want to touch base on reacting from the Elite Eight, Nick? Any other like UConn dominant? Bama takes down Clemson. Were you surprised in that with that outcome?
Not necessarily. Clemson, most people didn't expect to be there, but again, they were a very old team, had some older transfers as well. So no, I'm not necessarily surprised. I mean, Alabama's still relying on outscoring opponents. I don't think their defense has necessarily got any better. I think a lot of people are going to be rooting for Bama and NC State, but I'm worried that this Final Four might be pretty damn chalky, and we got UConn, Purdue, which, you know, I know none of us are big fans of either program, Bieniek aside, but it should be a hell of a game if it is the 2-1s facing off Monday night.
Look, if Purdue won the national championship, I think it'd be great. The one thing I don't want is UConn to repeat.
Yeah.
Give it to somebody else. All right. Give it to somebody else, but at least until I bet them. So yeah, exactly. Once I place the wager, I might change my whole opinion. Folks, just so you know, you are listening to the College Basketball Experience on SGPN, and SGPN is home to 20 plus gambling podcasts that are all completely free. This week's featured show is the MLB Gambling Podcast. Baseball is back, as you saw. I just hit on the Orioles, and right now I am sweating the Astros. The Astros that are up 5-0.
You could have worse sweats. I mean, Detroit and the Mets are currently tied 0-0 in the 9th inning.
There you go. So look, the MLB Gambling Podcast is back. The whole MLB crew is firing away with their free daily picks podcast. If you aren't already subscribed to the MLB Gambling Podcast, what the hell are you doing? What are you waiting for? Get on over there. Subscribe. Because baseball is back. All right. All right. We are back on the pod, and yeah, we got the NIT, and I'm going to go ahead and say this is the most interesting NIT I can recall in a while. Just because I feel like Seton Hall, I guess the Xavier one 2 years ago was interesting a little bit for me, but I think Seton Hall and Indiana State both really feel like they have they've been robbed, and I think that's fair to assess that. I think it's fair to say that. You look at the way the Big East performed in the NCAA tournament, and you say, "Wait, Seton Hall is one of the only teams that beat UConn this year." You know, like how the fuck are they not in? And then Indiana.
Hold on, the way the Big East performed. I mean, other than UConn, what they had 2 teams make the second round. That's not doing that great.
Well, I mean, they didn't have any
Sweet 16.
Yeah, they all made the Sweet 16, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the thing. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And yeah, okay, decent.
But I think I think Seton Hall truly got robbed, and I feel the same way for Indiana State. Indiana State almost went undefeated, like them and App State. I feel like, you know, that's the only. If Sankey really wanted to sell me on expansion, that's the angle. It's like, well, you know, Indiana State. Indiana State is one. So Terry is located in Terre Haute, Indiana, where the movie A Christmas Story takes place. And we're gonna shoot your eye out right here because they got Milk Chamberlain, and that's 1 hour away from Hinkle. I did the Google Maps. Me and CJ Sullivan, 1 hour 14-minute drive away. That you saw. When it was in Terre Haute the past couple games, these NIT games were lit. I think these fans got no, as CJ said, he said an hour and 15 minutes. When you're in Indiana, everything's like a 20-minute drive. You go to the store. So what is an hour and 15 minutes is nothing. This is going to be a Indiana State crowd. The Utah Utes and Craig Smith come in there. Been a fun story. I actually had Utah in the preseason making the NCAA tournament. They let me down. This is white on white crime.
This is white on
and
white.
I am all over the home team with Milk Chamberlain and Skell Russell. We're going in. I'm laying the 3.5 with the Sycamores. I think is a lock. Now I will say, if you listen to me and CJ's show on Friday on this very show, both these spreads were way shorter, and we said parlay the fuck out of that.
You alerted them prior to the Elite Eight.
Yeah, the lines were out like a week ago, and I was like, these lines are going to skyrocket. Get on over there. It's still bettable though. I think there's still value there. Indiana State wins by double digits, I think, at Hinkle Fieldhouse, which look, I know CJ's upset that they're not at the Garden anymore, but Hinkle is an institution to me. It's something that should be protected like our fucking national parks. I'm okay with this tournament being at classic venues. Hinkle fits that. Indiana State -3.5. Lock it up. Mac, what are you doing here?
That's at 3.5. I'm going to take the Utes. I think the Utes are kind of bitter.
Big 12 Mac is here. Big 12 Mac is here.
I forgot about the Utes. The Utes are in the new 4. They got seniors, Carlson. I think they're bitter that they kind of choked down the stretch, and they've kind of looked like a new team in the NIT. I mean, they drilled VCU. I think Iowa dressed that up. They dominated that game. I think the Utes, I think it's a 1-possession game. So I'm going to take the 3.5 with the points and the Utes. Let's go Utes.
NC Nick, what are you doing here at the place that me and you've been here? We hung out with Dad Mata.
That's right. Fantastic environment for a basketball game. Fantastic. There's the history behind it and how it's basically located in the middle of the neighborhood is fantastic. But I'm treating this as a road game. And Utah's been god awful on the road this year. 2-9 straight up. They only won one Pac-12 game on the road, just a 1-point win at UCLA. So I think Indiana State has all the momentum in the world. I think they're going to win. I think they're going to cover. I'm with you, Dundee. I'll lock it up.
I mean, you gotta be a real biased Big 12 son of a bitch to fade, to come in, fade Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
This is a triple.
There's too many white guys on this floor. You got to take the points with all the white guys.
This is triple.
The backdoor cuts are not going to be there. They're going to know what's going on.
You know, a lot of people go to college for 7 years.
Triple lock. Let's go. Mike Snow White. I got to give it to him. I did not foresee Georgia making this run with a strong dosage of blue cane. Winning at Ohio State was impressive. Ohio State just can't beat Georgia in any sport, right?
No.
This line skyrocketed. This was like 2.5 the other day. It's at 4.5. Shaheen Holloway, Seton Hall. They feel disrespected. Hinkle Fieldhouse. God damn it! If I lived closer, I'd be going to this thing. Georgia's getting 4.5. Look. It's been a fun ride, Georgia, but I think Seton Hall, just like I think Indiana State, they are out to prove the committee wrong. Even though the committee has no idea that the NIT is even happening, or that it's in Hinkle Fieldhouse, I still think I'm going to lay it. I will say, I wouldn't go much higher. I think it's like a 6-7 point win, but I'm on the Pirates, man. From one Pirate to another, let's go. Lock up Seton Hall minus the points, and I think it's still worth doing the parlay. Like I said. Hope you got it in last week when I advised you to, but still worth doing it. Give me the Seton Hall Pirates minus the points. Mac, what are you doing here in Hinkle?
I think I lean to the Pirates too. I think that they've turned it up another notch defensively. Fucking Georgia, 2 straight road wins at Wake, at Ohio State. I think they hit a wall here. Seton Hall grinds this out. Let's go. Lay the 4.5.
NC Nick. We're back at Hinkle.
Look, I know Seton Hall has been pretty damn impressive the last couple wins, but they haven't left South Orange, New Jersey since the last road game, March 3rd at Yukon.
But they do play at Hinkle every year. So if anyone knows the rims,
they won earlier in the season, January 13th at Butler. But I'm taking the points, man. Georgia, I think the more impressive road to get here, considering they beat the Buckeyes and Wake Forest on the road. I'm going to ride that momentum. Georgia, not afraid to go on the road here. They cover at least, if not win outright.
The best thing about Georgia is that they didn't turn this thing down. I feel like a lot of in Utah and Georgia deserve and even Seton Hall, because they're considered a power conference. I'm so glad they didn't turn the fucking thing down. It's like,
well, Utah and Georgia aren't traditional basketball schools, so if they turned it
played
down,
the national championship not that long ago.
it was a while ago.
Damn it, I'm old. Doesn't feel that long. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like these teams, you should always play. You're a kid. You're at college. Go play basketball. Go play basketball. That's what you're supposed to do. It's like people giving Zach. You guys see them giving Zach Edey a hard time because he was in Chicago at some bar and some girl brings him home.
Ridiculous.
The fuck. That's the whole point of sports.
Right.
The whole point of fucking being 18 and 20.
Right.
Like, go.
I'm not sure that was a bar. That was probably a house party.
Whatever.
No, but they said he was at. The report was he was at a bar before, and then he went there after.
Did you see the parade? Like Purdue celebrated like they won the national championship.
Well, I mean, I don't give a shit if this was the first game of the season. All right, like
he's getting laid.
What the hell is wrong? I couldn't believe someone said he's drinking again, and there's the biggest games going on. Fuck you.
He's drinking during the season. Like what?
Yeah. Fuck you.
He's got 5 days to fully recover after this banger.
I can tell you what.
Yeah.
After we beat it was Duke and we beat Florida. Sindarius Thornwell and PJ Dozier, those guys were getting after it. I can tell you that. And they were ready to go the next game. Yeah. Anytime you make a run, Deshaun Butler, West Virginia Final Four, they were getting after it. Yeah.
You're in college.
Kids.
You are supposed to get fucked up.
Yeah.
That's part of the requirements, right? When you go to college
before the game, but
yes,
no doubt.
Enjoy the perks.
Zach Edey can probably put down alcohol like Andre the Giant. I mean, first off, he's Canadian. They love beer.
That's true.
You know, and he's 7'4". Yeah. I mean, he can put him back. I bet.
How about his big ass getting in that under that door?
Dude, I wish they would have shown.
Dude, I'll pull up this video. The thing that I was holy shit, like. Edey holding a beer can like this.
Yeah,
his top of the hand was at the top of the beer.
Oh man, let the guy enjoy it. I'm disgusted at this. Is why social media is the worst. Like, how are they coming down on him? What the fuck? We've really lost our minds. It's like the point of life at that age. You go to college, you kick ass in sports, you kick ass in the bedroom. All right, that's what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean?
And these college kids got a lot of pressure on them. Why not? Have a good time and release some of that pressure.
Yes, I couldn't believe. I almost thought like this is fake. This has got to be from an Indiana fan, right?
That chick got called for a foul going in that room with him, though.
I would like to see a photo of him on that fucking bed. All right, now, just because it's like the old Manute Bull story, one of my favorite stories ever. Rest in peace. Rest in peace to the great Manute Bull, who I got a little figure of the Manute Bull. He was on the Golden State Warriors and he took a cab. This is pre-Uber, and that he actually got in a crash. It was like a really bad crash. It almost killed him, and he flew out of a vehicle like 12 feet. California freeways have like 30 fucking lanes. So like it was at night and he just flew like 7 lanes over. And, luckily he didn't die at that point. He actually is dead now, unfortunately, rest in peace. But I just couldn't imagine being on the freeway. You're like driving and you just see that dude. If you saw him flying like that, you would think that's like a gigantic spider. You would think that would not look like a human being. Right. And I just couldn't imagine being like, even the first responder. Even like the first responder shows up, you go to give like CPR or check the vitals. You're like, what in the fuck? This guy's gigantic. Noah, you got that video? You working on it? I'm working on it. Yeah.
He knows how to get to it. He loves fucking Edey.
Yeah, you had that bookmarked, right? That was my favorite moment of the weekend. Is Noah shared a photo of his setup, his TV setup in his basement, and his dad, I guess, has a Playboy magazine that's like in the corner, but apparently it's of his dad's on the cover. But our fans had tagged it by saying Zach Edey edition of the Playboy magazine. Noah's jerking off to. Very hilarious stuff.
Zooming in on my entertainment center in the basement.
Oh man.
What did Noah do to celebrate Purdue's birth in the Final Four?
He loves Purdue.
I cashed a paper ticket on them going to the Final Four.
All right, right
there
on.
You go.
Yeah.
Hey, have a little water gun fight.
Tweet? Did you see that tweet of Zach Edey where he said on CBS, like national television, we're fucking winners? so I tweeted. I
saw the one that he said he had a boner. I mean, that was foreshadowing what was going to happen later that night.
Speaking of,
I was like, what's wrong with this guy right now?
Yeah. Speaking of, I got it.
There we go. There you go. YouTube.com/theccollegeexperience.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, dude. Why did he didn't need to?
Back here.
He struggled with the door for a second. He could have broke that down with one punch.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
for real.
It looks consensual.
Yeah. It's 100%.
Fucking shirt is.
She walks in.
And look at that girl's reaction. She's
like,
like,
"Oh my god!"
I know. Let's go through the comments because the comments on this were fucking hilarious,
dude. But hold on, can you go back to the original post? Is that the same one? Go up to the top first. She was hoping. Oh, see. Okay, so you got it. I saw the one Nick saw where someone tweeted that out saying, This is what the guy's doing. He's drinking. Yeah. He's like it was negatively shaming him.
No, so this one was the comment goes, "This same dude broke my bracket," and I'm looking through the comments here, and this comment coming up was fucking hilarious. Where is it at? God, where'd it go?
I love Scott G. Goes, who would fuck Edey? The entire city of West Lafayette. All right, let me tell you, buddy. Sports. I mean, come on. There's plenty of examples throughout history of
it must have got deleted. He goes, he's breaking her bracket next. That's right here.
I mean, let the guy enjoy his life. I'm glad that they didn't throw any negative comments towards him right there. The one I saw had me a little pissed off. Yeah,
it's like let the man live, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, perks.
One last thing. Just look at the beer he's holding. I mean, come on. You see it when she walks away. Look at this thing real quick. Right there. I mean, what the fuck? He's holding it from the bottom of the can and
he's kind of like the character in Happy Gilmore. You know what I'm talking about? They get stapled in the head.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he's kind of like that. But yeah, man, enjoy fucking life, man. You're in the Final Four. I hope he fucks every woman in West Lafayette. Let's go.
Anyway. You said, that's what college is for. Come on.
Look, I mean, me and Mac were talking trash about the way the fouls are called around him, but come on. Who's going to give him shit? Who's going to give him shit? We live in a ridiculous time that someone's going to give a college kid shit and say he's drinking. First off, he's fucking older than 21.
He's been in college 7 years.
Right?
He's older than Noah.
How many? I mean, in our everyday life, they probably have no idea. Like their pilot was probably shit hammered 12 hours before they took their last flight. You know what I mean? Like whatever. Who cares? All right, we're going to get to the Final Four games here in a second here, but I want to tell you that the college basketball experience is brought to you by Cut. Cut is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that's U.S.-based and available in 40 different states. P2P social betting is a new and better way to bet. Bet directly against your friends or other users on sports, politics, pop culture, and other events with verifiable outcomes. Maybe that chick that was doing the O-face can bet one of her friends that Zach Edey could probably. What do you think? What would you set his over under at how many beers he could take down in a night? Say like 17 and a half, 17 and a half, let's say.
That sounds like his average rebounds per tournament.
I mean, if we're comparing him to Under the Giant, the Andre would put 17 and a half down.
That's true.
In his first 20 minutes.
And there's the Wade Boggs story of like 33 beers or whatever it was on a flight. Wade Boggs wasn't huge though.
No.
I still question that one.
Yeah, that seems like it's a tall tale.
Yeah. I know they talk about there's an Always Sunny episode about that, right? Yeah. Episode. Either way, Cut is awesome because you can do stuff like that. You can bet next year. You know, if you think the USFL is better than the XFL, you bet those games. All right. You can set your own bets up, and Cut offers lower vig and fully customizable odds. Like I said, you can create your own bets, and Cut handles the payment side of things, so you never have to chase Zach Edey down in the streets. That would be terrible. Imagine that. Make a bet with Zach Edey and you got to collect. Mr. Edey, I think you owe me some dollars. I do want to see a brawl of I want to see Zach Edey in a brawl. That would be. He's high on the Royal Rumble rankings going into this college basketball season.
Go for the knees.
Yeah, that's true.
Chop them down low.
Yeah. Cut handles the payment side of things though, so you never have to chase anyone down. And the social features include group chats, betting leaderboards, head-to-head history, user profile, fan groups, and much, much more. So what are you doing, folks? Download the Cut app today in the App Store or head over to cut.com. That's KUTT.com. Use that promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. It's also the fastest growing fantasy app in the industry. Pick whether your favorite player will have a higher or lower stat total in this week's game for a chance to win big. You can win 100 times the amount of money you enter in a single night. Pick between 2 of 5 players to build a pick'em entry. The more players you add, the higher your odds go. And I got to be honest, right now, I'm going to put you guys on the spot. Me and the bet detective were doing some. Now, 2 of those have ended. We were on the Caitlin Clark prop, but how about Milk Chamberlain? Higher or lower 17.5 points? NC Nick, Moneyline Mac, Noah Bieniek. I think it's a smash to the higher.
I mean, I'm on the Sycamores, so if I'm on the Sycamores, that means Avila probably has a good game. It's right at his average. Let's do it.
Dude, he's going to score 23, 24, something like that. Mac? No, you're on mute. You're on mute, but
I said lower. He's not at home. And I think the size of Carlson, lower. What
are you talking about? You didn't know that he's from the great state of Indiana. Rumor has it that he fucked a girl at center court once.
I'm sure he is. That means he's distracted this game, just like Edey, apparently.
He was actually born.
Him and Edey are tag teaming chicks left and right in fucking Indiana.
Where was he born? That
Oak
is a great
Forest, Illinois.
Oak Forest. There it is.
That'd be great. Like him and Edey out on a dating. they go. What is it called? Double dating. Going out there. That would be. They should do it just for social. Bieniek, what do you think on this one?
I don't know about that one. The one that I grabbed actually was also an Indiana State player, so you wouldn't be able to put the two together unless you get a third leg. It sounds good though for Avila.
Yeah.
My pick here was Ryan Conwell. And he's had more than 2.5 assists in 8 of his last 9 games. Granted, it's been 3 assists. There's been 1 game with 4, 1 game with 5. However, those 4 assists, 5 assist games were the NIT games against Cincy and Minnesota. So I like Ryan Conwell's higher than 2.5 assists.
I like the lower also on Dre Davis on 24.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
All right. Well, we're
just all over the place here. Let's go. That's what's great about Underdog Fantasy. So check it out. Like I said, sign up with the promo code TCE SGPN to get your first deposit doubled up to $100 as well as an instant pickup special. Visit underdogfantasy.com, find them in the App Store, and don't forget to register with the promo code TCE SGPN to get your first deposit doubled as well as an instant pickup special. All right, we are back on the college basketball experience, and now we jump into. God, I can't. This is the worst in a way. Isn't this the worst? Like, because I don't know about you guys. I know Mac, you cover it too, but I ride into I start doing college football content in June, and I ride that wave all the way until April. You would think I would rejoice in the fact I don't have to work as much, but it's just, I love sports. It's downtime. I'm still betting MLB. I love college baseball. Got the Frozen Four still going on, but there's still UFL, CFL, but it's still not nightly. I feel like college basketball, it's like a machine. I know that we get exhausted at times, but I'm still I feel even tonight, I feel like there's something missing, right?
Yeah, it's depressing that it's basically coming to an end. I mean, that's what we're talking about, man. Enjoy it while it lasts, because after this, we're gonna not have football till the last weekend in August, and then we won't play basketball again.
Don't say that. Now Colby's offended because there is football.
No, I mean
There is,
college.
Yeah, but even then, even like I love the UFL. You know, I love any spring football league doing it. I love the CFL. I'm hosting the CFL Gambling Podcast and the UFL Gambling Podcast, but they still don't utilize weeknights as much. So you have to wait to the weekend, like you're sitting there like you're a fucking kid in school again. You're like, oh, this weekend I'm gonna, you know, we're gonna play Tecmo Super Bowl, and then I'm gonna go play a bunch of fucking football and basketball. You're looking forward to it. If what's great about the drug of college basketball, it's like every night you're just boom, boom, boom. NC Nick, you with me here?
I do think the break makes you want it more and makes you realize how special those few months are. Because if it was just complete year round, I mean, I'm not saying it would be a bad thing. That would be a lot of fun. But I think the break does really, gear up your excitement when it's close to coming back. And also, by the way, in case people don't know, you do college football content year round every Wednesday night.
Yes.
But you're talking about like when you really start diving in heavy doing your team previews.
Yeah,
but,
well, that starts to become a daily thing, just like college basketball is my point.
Right.
Is I just like thinking about shit the entire time. You know what I mean? Whether it's games, but obviously having the direct result is huge too. I love MLB. I love NHL playoffs. I love Kentucky Derby. I love all that shit. And, we're going to talk all that stuff, but I'm saying it's just different. It's just different. College basketball and college football to me are like the two greatest things we have,
Agreed.
College baseball is great too. And I love Omaha, but once we get to Omaha, that's awesome too. I'm watching every fucking, I try to watch as much as I can now, but it's just different. It's just different. But, all right, we got games. We got 2 games. Saturday.
Somebody said in the chat said NBA playoffs.
No
thanks.
No. NBA died. Yeah, NBA died a long time ago to me. You got to go. I'll do big 3 with Caitlin Clark though. I'll do big 3 with Caitlin Clark with that $5 million. All right. I watched I watched an England professional basketball game or an English professional basketball game the other day.
My buddy watches the African League professional basketball. He says it's pretty good, actually. I haven't watched it yet, though, so I cannot confirm.
There's some skill in the game I was watching in England. There was some skill, but the defense was just pathetic. It's like
I feel like the athletes might be lacking in England.
But I don't think their rosters were full of British dudes. I think they might have went out and paid for some local talent elsewhere. But all right, we got the NCAA tournament on Saturday. NC State Purdue, the Pussy Pack is rolling along. 8.5 points. It's disrespectful. It's disrespectful. We just saw Zach Edey having a hell of a good time, as he should. As he fucking should. But DJ Burns is doing that same thing. Just there's no camera phone around.
Which I'm surprised at.
No, I'm sure there's a camera phone around, but no one's filming. He's probably like, turn that shit off. That's what I would do. As I walk in there, I don't care how many beers you. I'd be like, don't turn your fucking phones off. I'll hang out with you because you got clout. DJ Burns is never gonna have to pay for a drink in Raleigh again, Nick, is he?
I don't think so.
I'll buy him a beer if I see him in Raleigh. If I'm visiting you and I run into DJ Burns, I'll buy him a beer. I can't. It's like CJ told me CJ getting a lot of shout outs on this episode, but we were in Vegas and he goes, you got to submit, Colby. You got to know. And then I jumped on NC State back then. That was against Marquette. And he jumped off of them. Ironically, he had told me that they're going to win it all. And
wasn't his comment they were going to get to the Final Four?
That's what he says. But I maybe on air he said that, but
yeah, over
cocktails, he was definitely telling me, dude, I'm telling you, they're going to win it all. No one can stop them. They're trained and no one can stop them. Give me the Pussy Pack plus 8.5 points. Sprinkle that money line plus 325. You saw the way Purdue was partying. You saw West Lafayette was lit up. And if you really need
Nick, how's the scene in Raleigh?
Oh, Raleigh's on fire. I wasn't in Raleigh Saturday or Sunday night, but I've seen some videos, and I'm probably going to go to the same bar as where I watched them beat Oakland. So that might be some good luck coming NC State's way.
This is from a movie in 1993 that I think is valuable.
Shit. Hobo from Purdue. I hate Purdue. When's the last time they ever won anything anyways?
There's a reason why that's a quote in the movie. All right. They haven't won anything in a long time. Now they can get to the Final Four. This is their version of winning. Pussy Pack, get it done. They cover the 8.5, and I think it's worth sprinkling because this story has been so magical. Mac, what are you doing here?
What's Purdue's kryptonite? The double-digit fucking seed. Somehow, some way, they're playing a double-digit seed in the Final Four. Fucking Fair Dick, St. Pete, North Texas, Little Rock. As much as I hate the pussy back, I got to take the points. I think you sprinkle some on the money line. You can't deny the magic right now. It's Jimmy Valvano. Like you said, Purdue. They probably will end up winning the game. They probably will find a way. They'll foul out the entire NC State team. But I think I don't think NC State can get blown out right now. They did not have a cakewalk. They beat Texas Tech.
They beat Carolina. They beat Duke twice, right? I mean,
they beat Duke twice.
Virginia.
They beat Marquette.
Pack-line defense.
Somehow, some way, Purdue's going to forget how to shoot open jump shots when they get them. And maybe Zach Edey gets a couple fouls against the big refrigerator. Let's go, DJ Burns, NC State. And Purdue falls to another double-digit seed.
And Mario in the chat says he lives 45 minutes east of West Lafayette, and it's buzzing all the way over here. That's what I'm saying. You get that. This is where I think that week break, although great in the likes of Zach Edey destroying pussy, but it might be a bad thing. Is like you're hearing everyone talk about you the entire time. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
Well, the tides have turned. How about that? You got Colby and Mac riding NC State. Look, I'll just say NC State might be a train, but the Cinderella train usually fades.
It's easy to see a tide turn.
Not with NC State. This is the last time they did this.
Yeah, but it did with George Mason, with VCU, with Wichita State, with like Syracuse as a 10 seed, with Loyola Chicago, with FAU or Miami last year, with UCLA a few years ago.
But what about San Diego State?
Well, they were 5. Well, somebody had to win the game, and they were a 5 seed. I think Burns Edey matchup is the matchup that we all want to see. I don't know if Burns is going to be as effective against him because usually he uses his body to create space to get his shot off.
Let's talk about this.
7'4" erases that room.
Let's talk about this. Keats. This goes back to my thing with like Colorado with Tristan da Silva, or the way that Krutwig was used for Porter Moser at Loyola. They should put Burns at the top of the key with the ball, directing the offense, and bring Edey out and see if they'll use Edey. I don't know. They might just go zone. They might, say, but I do think there's something there. Burns can hit those like 10, 12 footers. It's going to be fascinating to watch, but what do you think, Mac? Do you think that there's something there that if you bring him out, you bring Edey out a little bit and the offense might be able to execute a little bit better?
Yeah. I think they can use DJ Burns as a passer too, because I think
that's what I'm saying.
I think Burns is able to spin off Edey, and I don't, like I said, man, I don't buy into this bullshit narrative that Edey doesn't foul. Like I saw 4 individual fouls that weren't called. I think the narrative is actually going to put some pressure on the officials, and I actually think they're going to call some fouls on Edey.
It hasn't for 2 years. What makes you think it's going to?
But this is the biggest stage. This is the most pressure.
Maybe he just doesn't get himself in foulable positions.
No. Literally.
You see what we got tagged in today? We got tagged in on him like destroying a human being.
Guys. he's.
I love how I don't get tagged in this.
He's one of the most physical players, just like DJ Burns. You're going to accidentally pick up 2 to 3 fouls, like Shaquille O'Neal, like Yao Ming, his lookalike. You accidentally pick up 2 or 3 fouls as a big man. He's the only guy. He's going to pick up some fouls on Saturday.
NC Nick, you're laying that big number.
I'm gonna be rooting for NC State here, but I think this is where the run ends. Now, could this still cover? They definitely could, but I'm gonna take Purdue to win, and I'm gonna lay it.
Noah, do we even need to ask you?
Cocktail Napkin actually has this one at 8.5 points, and I'm with Mac. Purdue's lost to a 12 seed. They've lost to a 14 seed. They've lost to a 12 seed, a 13 seed, a 15 seed, and a 16 seed. They haven't lost to an 11. They haven't lost to a 13. I'm not calling for the loss for Purdue against NC State. However, what have we seen from NC State that makes us think that they're going to get ran out of this building here? They've been competitive in every game, and they've won every game that they've played for the last 3 weeks. For me, I am a little turned off by the whole celebration now, just by getting to the Final Four. Yeah, they broke down a huge barrier and they got to the Final Four. But I think this team had bigger goals than the Final Four.
Bigger goals is fucking that chick in that room.
This is the little bit of a letdown / look ahead spot where the way you beat Purdue is by Purdue kind of beating themselves when they don't make their outside shots. When the guards outside of Edey don't show up. Edey is inevitable. But some of the other guys making their outside shots isn't as consistent. And that's when you see Purdue kind of get into these dogfights. Northwestern didn't have a big that could match Edey. They were able to take them down. I have NC State covering this pretty easily. So this is a lock for me.
Woo. I'm betting all these. So
I'm the only one not going with the ACC team.
Hilarious. This guy he goes on a mountain trip. All right. Is this did you get kidnapped by fucking aliens? Is this another version of NC Nick?
Also, for what it's worth, I did cocktail napkin numbers for the totals on these games too. Personally, I've never bet a total with the cocktail napkin numbers, but I've always had them readily available. I think for the most part, they've been pretty good throughout the year. It likes the over here. Total
145.5 is what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, the total for the cocktail napkins at 150. So on Purdue, if they don't take NC State seriously, like NC State's guards are able to hit outside shots, Purdue's defense also lacks in the backcourt as well.
Who will have the crowd edge? NC State will, right? Because of Burns.
Purdue.
I feel like Burns is igniting.
UConn. So excited for this. They are going
but UConn fans will be rooting for NC State, right?
Yeah.
I think all four fan bases show up, so I don't think it's decided one way.
Well, no, but hold on. I get that, but I'm saying like right now there's one story that's like America's story, and I think it's DJ Burns. And NC State, right?
I don't know if that matters for. I mean, it could. I think Purdue fans will also cheer against UConn too, for that matter. I mean, I think it's going to be a bunch of noise, like Nick said. Most of these, I mean, all four of these fan bases, I think, should travel. UConn because they're consistently passionate and they have been for the last couple of decades, but Purdue is loyal, NC State is loyal, and Alabama hasn't been there. So
they're all big schools too.
Yeah.
Bama probably has the worst turnout, I think.
Let me ask you something. Do you think there's value on waiting? Will this line climb up as far as like if you're taking NC State, will it go to 9.5, 9?
I think it goes the other way. I think that NC State's the public darling.
Okay.
Going back to the total, like if
everybody hates Edey and they love Burns. Sorry, Nick.
Yeah, no problem. But going back to if you're on NC State, you're probably thinking an under. But it sounds like you think you like NC State and an over.
Yeah, I think NC State will be able to score with Purdue.
I think the more likely scenario is that NC State keeps up their really good defense and it's more lower scoring, and they can keep it within that 8.5.
I like taking football stadium unders.
That's true too. But
that is a good angle. Yeah.
So what team is more reliant on the 3-ball?
Purdue is.
Purdue.
I mean,
And nobody makes a 3 against NC State for some reason for 2 months now. I don't know what
Purdue's going to score because they'll get their buckets from Edey down low. I have a matchup that I really like in Purdue's favor, but it's not going to win them the game. I'll talk about that in the DFS portion, but I think NC State
that's something
will have their way on the outside.
Yeah, that's something NC Nick we did last night is we looked up NC State's the 3-point shooting against NC State since the ACC tournament, with the exception to Louisville, which shot a decent percentage.
Yeah,
no one else has shot, and that was the first game. So ever since that Louisville game, no one shot like above. I think it was like 33%.
Their perimeter defense has been very good. I mean, they own Duke's guards the last game. Casey Morrison was one of the best perimeter defenders in the entire country.
He locked up Golke too.
Yeah. But Purdue should be able to score inside some, I think.
Yeah. All right. Let's jump
over.
On
the flip side, I don't know if NC State's going to be able to score it on the inside, and they've been hot and cold from 3.
I'm on the points. I don't know if I'm going to touch the total, but Alabama, Yukon. Hurley says, "Hey, Danny, come, Bobby." Bobby says, "Come crash at my house." All right, we're good. We were partying. Me, Noah, and Mac and CJ, Sean and Ryan for a second. We were partying in Arizona. By the way, if anyone's going to the Final Four, make sure you hit up Venezia's Italian restaurant. Great pizza, great beer.
By the way,
I did.
Okay,
that was awesome. Awesome. And shout out to those guys. They have that's like honestly the best food you can get on that trip. Make sure you hit Venezia's Italian food. Absolutely fantastic pizza, beers. They got great beers. But we were there. They had a suite at the in Vegas, and they invited us, and we came over and tried their fantastic food, which, like I said, try if you're out there in Arizona, get it. But what was my original point here? But
if you're in Arizona,
about Bobby sleeping over at Danny's.
Oh yeah, I couldn't believe that they were like on board. So they're involved with Arizona State, dude. I've done like 4 straight fucking podcasts. Spare me. Bobby Hurley. I asked them, why is he coming back next year? Are you guys cool with it? He's like, it's not Bobby's fault that we're bad. We like Bobby. And I go, I was surprised by that answer. So he's coming back, and they love him apparently. But anyway, Bobby
whose
Hurley.
fault is it bad? Yeah. So whose fault?
Well,
is
they
it?
said like
the AD.
Well, not only the AD, they're actually blaming the school president too. On like, it seemed like sport, like they're like Arizona State of the past put sports kind of first.
They better start investing, man.
Yeah, they're putting like academics first and not. Yeah, I got to say,
Arizona State's putting academics.
That's
first?
what they were saying, is that there's that stigma against it, and they've been focusing on trying to. But we'll see. But anyway, do you think the Hurleys are going to have a little get together at old Bobby's, saying, "Danny, you stay here"? I know his dad's like a fucking assistant coach, even though he's not an assistant coach.
Well, Nate Oats and them go way back.
Yeah. The former assistant for Bobby Hurley.
Yeah.
At Buffalo, and his top recruit? I think Danny Hurley's first recruit at Rhode Island.
Matthews.
Yeah. UConn's laying 11.5. This line's too much. I look. UConn's a fucking train. 11.5.
Yeah.
Overreaction to a 30-0 run. Bama has athletes. They got experience. I love Sears' game. Grant Nelson's a fucking baller too. I'll take the 11.5. UConn wins by 7, 8, 9, 10. Just not 11. Just not 12. Well, actually 11. You're still good, but you know what I mean. Mac, what are you doing here?
Oh, I'm definitely on Bama. I mean, if there is a spot you're gonna fade UConn, it's gonna be this game, because in the title game they're gonna be fucking locked the hell in.
See, but I think Bama's style though doesn't bid well for UConn.
Agreed.
I think Purdue style would actually has a better chance of beating UConn to me.
Yeah, and Alabama, they're kind of style proof. Like they're gonna play their game. They're gonna shoot a bunch of threes. They're gonna drive it with their good guards. When they get down 15, they're gonna keep driving and shooting it. I think Bama stays within the number. I actually think this is gonna be a hell of a game, and I'm really hoping that we get a good game too, because I want to see UConn in a fucking tight game, because something tells me if they get in a tight game, they're gonna fucking choke.
I do have a slew of DMs that says Max faded UConn every week or every game.
I took him against fucking Stetson. Get that shit out of here. Hey, you know what? I was on him a bunch last year until the San Diego State game, and then I tried.
They're not in the ACC.
No, well, fuck UConn. I'm tired of their fucking fans acting like they ain't gonna fucking cover every game again. Give me roll, tide, roll. Sprinkle some on the 525 money line. Sears and Estrada make 10 threes each.
I do love those guards, but I followed Sears when he was at Ohio, Estrada at Hofstra, Grant Nelson at well, I know he's on a guard, but you know what I mean. I loved all those guys where they were from. It just sucks they took that SEC bag, but hey. Hopefully they cashed in. Hopefully they're just like Zach Edey, but without the video. They're taking someone to Plowtown. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
Well, I mean, like I said earlier, it's not like during this run, Bama's played better defense, and that's why they've been winning. I mean, they're still just outscoring opponents. Their implied total in this game is about 75. I think if they're going to cover, they probably have to go over that. And way
over that, I think. Oh no, right. To cover, to win, I would say they'd have to go way over that.
Yeah,
to cover,
And if you look at it, what's the most points UConn's given up in the tournament so far is 58. Only 4 teams all year have scored over 75 against UConn, and 3 of those games were like January 10th or earlier. With all that said, though, I think I'm gonna go with you guys. I think UConn wins this. I think they probably win by 8 to 10.
Yeah. Bieniek.
I love what Nick said, and then he went against his own.
I know.
Well, you got to remember the connection. The connection. They're all friends.
The connection works the other way too. They're all friends. He's gonna be able to run it up against the fucking defense. I mean, so there's 2 things that Alabama only does. They shoot threes and they get buckets at the rim. We just saw this with Illinois. Right? They could not get to the rim. They couldn't. And nobody is going to be able to outmatch Donovan Clingan down low. Grant Nelson's a fucking pussy. A white
what?
Beanpole.
What's going on here?
Bacon would have his way.
He had 2 good games.
I don't get the cold, but
did you lose a prom date to Grant Nelson too?
Nick Pringle rolled his ankle in the Sweet 16. I mean, down low, they are going to get outmatched. UConn just did this to Illinois. Let's say Alabama drains 23s. That's 60 points. I don't have them getting as many points at the rim. I love Nick's stat. I'm going to add to it. Alabama's opponents, 87 points, 88 points, 88 points, 102 points, 109 points, 61 points, which was Grand Canyon, 87 points, 82 points. They're averaging 89.6 points against them in this run in the postseason, SEC tournament and NCAA tournament. UConn's going to score. Alabama's going to have trouble getting points at the rim. They are going to have to make their threes. And we just said it about the last game. Stadium, long ball, ain't going to work. UConn, lock it up.
Let me ask you this.
My cocktail napkin spit out a startling number.
What? Oh, please tell it then.
15.
The fuck? Okay.
Lock it up.
I mean, they're kind of putting the number higher than you would, what makes you feel comfortable in order to get more Bama bettors.
I think the book said, if you want to bet UConn, you're going to earn it this time.
True.
We ain't just
I
going to.
don't even think they really have. Like they throughout this tournament, they did it in the Elite 8. You would think they did it in the Sweet 16. You would have thought they've lost every time.
Do you think UConn slows it up against Bama?
UConn can play at whatever pace they want to play, and they'll still beat them by 20.
That's what North Carolina said too.
North Carolina.
North Carolina should have won that game, though.
But I mean, Bama was within striking distance the entire way. The only team that has said no,
they were down like 12 or 14.
I think comparing North Carolina and UConn is crazy talk.
Well, they played earlier in the year. It was a great game, but I'm saying the only team that has loaded up against Bama and said, no, you're not running against us in the last 2 years is San Diego State. And San Diego State dragged in the mud. If Bama if UConn wants to say our dick's bigger than yours and we're going to outrun you, I think it's going to be a good game. I thought that's what Carolina did. I thought ultimately it bit him in the ass.
What do you think about the total, Noah? 161.5.
I mean, I don't really have my own thoughts on total. Once again, the cocktail napkin is
who the fuck's doing the cocktail napkin then?
I mean, computers. 165. But I mean, to Mac's point, it is in a larger stadium with fucked up sight lines, so who knows? Did you call that UConn North Carolina game competitive and fun?
What? Me?
Yeah, Mac.
Oh,
wasn't it like a 9-point game?
No, they lost by 11 and they were trailing by double digits early in the first half. It was never a game.
I remember it being a game. I remember it being tied in the second half.
I remember UConn owning that building, and that was not a fun game to watch.
You know what, Noah? You've convinced me. I'm going to switch to UConn here. There's a reason why I picked them to win this whole damn tournament, not because I like them whatsoever. And I hate picking a team to repeat, but they're the best damn basketball team in the country. Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, if they do win the championship, which I'm not going to take them right now, but you know why?
I mean, UConn,
because they went into the great city of Greenville and they brought in real talent, championship pedigree.
You are grasping at straws.
UConn's 3-1 in the NCAA tournament against the spread. The one time Mac backed them, they won. However, he is 1-3. So
Nick should know better than anybody. A team going for a repeat, steamrolling everybody. All of a sudden, they get back to the Final Four and the old UNLV running Rebels back in the day. I mean, come on.
Don't start with that. Greg Anthony, that was if CJ Sullivan is saying this was race wars between Iowa LSU tonight, I'm going to go ahead and say Duke UNLV, they get that bullshit foul to Greg Anthony. That bullshit. And you know what's crazy? Bobby Hurley, if you ever saw that doc they did, Bobby Hurley even says it. Bobby Hurley says, yeah, I don't know if I would have called that one.
I had the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl back to back. I have UConn winning this tournament back to back. Let's go.
All right. Well,
I just defended Duke, by the way, too. So I defended Duke, Carolina, and NC State.
And NC Nick comes back from the mountains fading the ACC. What the hell is happening over here? I don't know.
Well, I don't get.
I feel but like I don't take ACC teams blindly. I might root for some of them, but I feel like I don't take ACC teams blindly to cover. I don't.
I think that's a shot at you, Mac.
I did take all the Big 12s, but they were all laying points.
You take all the pending Big 12 teams too. You're like, I'm gonna go in there, get it done.
You gotta give me credit. I fucking locked up the Zags against Kansas. I said Bill's done.
That's the team you hate most, though. That's the team. That's the team you hate most in the Big 12.
He did have a really, really good read on Kansas the last 2 years.
I fucking went like 27 and 7.
I know.
I wonder what his tally site record is picking Kansas.
It's 27 and 7.
You looked?
Yes, it was good.
Wow, that's impressive. Or this year or over the past 2 years?
This year. I got to look at last year, but this year was really good.
We're going to talk DFS in a second here, folks. But before I do that, I want to tell you that the college basketball experience is brought to you by Manscaped. Yeah, this episode is brought to you by the spring cleaning champions, Manscaped.
Bieniek got a selfie.
This season, make sure to groom your carpets and drapes with the leaders in below the waist grooming. You know, shave your balls, people. All right, look, clear out that winter bush that you've just been sitting on. All right, it's like having the Christmas tree on like Groundhog Day. It's been sitting there for a long time. It's not a good look. So clear out that bush with Manscaped's Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. and watch your confidence bloom like a goddamn springtime flower. All right. Embrace the season and join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with our special offer. Go to manscaped.com, use that promo code SGPN for 20% off plus free shipping. Got to be honest, they should call me Lawnmower Man with all these lawnmowers I have over here. I have the Lawnmower 5.0. They sent me this thing is a difference maker, and I can honestly say I've caught my my spring fever. My flowers have come to bloom under these under this Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. Their 5th generation trimmer, the Ultra that is, features 2 interchangeable next gen skin safe blade heads. One, that's the standard one, the old school, for just taking a little off the top. And 2, a new foil blade to go smooth wherever your heart desires. It also features 2 dual LED spotlights to guide you through the darkest winter debris that is out there. All right. So navigate your own fucking cock and ass. All right. And, with confidence, shave all that shit off. It's a brand new spring cleaning. They say that for a reason. And if you hate making a mess, don't worry. This bad boy's waterproof. You can shave in the goddamn Shenandoah River. All right. Shave in the shower, shave in the ocean. Don't matter. It's going to work regardless. Even comes with a great compact case. All right. I take it everywhere. Go bungee jumping. You take it with you. Boom. All right. So what are you doing? Get 20% off and free shipping with the promo code SGPN at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the promo code SGPN at manscaped.com. Nothing like a little spring cleaning in your pants. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NBA season with Hall of Fame Bets, a sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NBA and soccer bet with historical stats and data. Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use that promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching. Start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. All right. Don't forget to shave your ass, people. I had a lot of fun with this DFS lineup. I don't know about you guys for the Final Four. And we offer, folks, if you want to, you're out there. I see 431 people watching this right now. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. If you're watching this, we invite you to come play DFS with us. So hop on in. I don't know about you guys.
This is fun too on this one, by the way.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun here. I don't know about you guys, but guards, let's start with guards. My highest price guard. And I just feel like this guy has a knack for big games. Maybe I'm full of shit. I don't know. I went with Cam Spencer at 7,200, the former Rutgers Scarlet Knight, who I did call an asshole for leaving Rutgers for UConn. But I do think in big moments, he tends to play well, in my opinion. So I'm going to take Cam Spencer for 7,200. Anyone else got Cam Spencer on their roster?
Me.
Boom. What's your logic there?
I think Hawkins had a big Final Four last year. Cam Spencer's answered the bell every single time this year. I think it takes he's a winner, man. He takes it upon himself. He's going to have a big Final Four as well.
Especially if it's a close game. I feel like he's going to be just.
He's got big nuts, man. He takes and makes big shots. He's fearless, and he's a prick. That's I like
in the most complimentable way possible.
I like this
prick.
I like this. Bieniek hates Grant Nelson. We hate Cam Spencer. It's just I like this. NC Nick, who's your highest price guard?
All right. Well, it's just in general. I mean, one game has their total is 16 points higher than the other.
Yep.
So I'm focusing on Bama UConn big time. 6 of my 8 players reside in that game. And everything you said about big nuts taking big shots, that also applies to Mark Sears. High upside. Upside is 40, 50 fantasy points. He's my most expensive guard.
There you go. You always were a Sears catalog guy, huh? Didn't have the money for Playboy back in the day. We just use the old Sears catalog.
Hey, man,
right?
When you're a teenager, you take what you can get.
You got Mark Sears or Cam Spencer? Or if not, who's your highest price guard?
I do not. I originally had Cam Spencer, so unfortunately didn't have the money to roster him. And I do agree with Nick in saying that I'm mainly focusing on the UConn Bama game because of the much higher total. However, I think that the matchup that I want to target, specifically actually in both games, is in the front courts. I think both UConn and Purdue will have their way in the front court. So my highest priced guard is Braden Smith, mainly because he's just going to have so many dishes to Zach Edey. He's averaging 9.3 assists in the NCAA tournament right now, 30.65 fantasy points in postseason play. So Braden Smith, just plainly because he's an assist man. That's my highest price guard.
Does anyone else have Braden Smith on their roster?
Nope.
Me neither. Shout out to Bieniek getting it done there. Well, my second highest price guard is Lance Jones. 4,900. I'm bargain shopping with my guards. I think Lance Jones is going to if Purdue wins, they're gonna need him to have a big game. At 4,900, I think he's underpriced. Am I crazy? Were you guys shocked by that one? I thought he'd be a little higher. Mac, did you have Lance Jones on your roster?
No, I thought about him. I considered Lance Jones, but I ended up staying off Lance Jones. He's more of a defensive guy for me.
Yeah.
I'm with the Colby. Yes. I like that transfer, getting Lance Jones. I think he adds, there you go, a new element to the backcourt that Purdue did not have last year. And he does play very good defense. He'll probably get, a couple steals. And I think he can, put up a solid game. He should be over 5K. So I do have him as one of my guards. Colby, I have to imagine that you're not counting your utility positions if your second highest guard total is only 4,900.
No.
Wow.
Second, yeah.
Okay, so it seems like you and Bieniek are going heavy on the front court. I went heavy on guards and went cheaper with the front court.
Mario's asking what site do we use? DK, and we will tweet out an invite. So give us a follow at TC.
Nick, do we have one
SGPN.
created yet or no?
Yeah, it's up.
All right, I'll put the link in the YouTube chat.
There we go.
So you do have Lance Jones. So Mac, who's your second highest price guard?
I actually went heavy on guards. Spencer was my third. I took both Bama guards, Sears and Estrada. I think if Bama's gonna fucking stay in this game, chuck, shoot those three balls, push the pace as much as possible. So I have Sears and Estrada. They're gonna have the blue light against UConn.
Noah, how about you for your second highest priced guard, essentially?
My second highest priced guard, and honestly, I don't, in my opinion, think I'm gonna retract that statement. My second highest priced guard is 5,800. Stephon.
It's easy to see a tide turn.
I'm sorry.
Mainly because I think that if anybody's gonna play UConn, I think the two most rostered players, just in my head, of the expensive guys. Most of these starters are pretty expensive. They don't know which one's gonna go off because UConn kind of has one big performance either game or every game, and it varies from player. I think the two most rostered guys are going to be Newton and Spencer, and I decided to attack to fade that. So I went Stephon Castle here at 5,800. He's averaging 21 fantasy points per postseason game so far this year, and he hasn't had one of those blow-up games yet. I think he's capable of doing it. So I had Castle at 5,800. My next guard also from UConn, because I am fading the other guards, and I talked about that already. I have Hassan Diarra as well, averaging 16 fantasy points in the postseason as well. So I think one of those two is going to have a solid game and overperform their price. So that was the logic behind that.
So Nick, you have a bunch. I only have one more guard left. You have a bunch more, right?
I do. And Colby, I'm shocked. You're just singing his praises. Yeah, he was in Greenville. He was at ECU. Tristan Newton for 7,900. Again, I loaded up on the most expensive.
A turncoat is a turncoat.
But I loaded up on the most expensive guard for Bama and for UConn. I mean, if you're not fading Alabama in the 104th ranked defense, if you don't have at least 3 Huskies, then I think you're doing this wrong. But so I paid up for Newton.
Look, I've been to Connecticut. I fell asleep. All right. Greenville. To me, I don't know what he's thinking. You're gonna go get a bag of cash, but what, fall asleep? You're gonna sing Christmas carols and shit? What's going on here? All right, I couldn't roster him because it didn't make a lot of sense. I know he's bringing home a natty, but just don't forget everything you learned. Greenville, North Carolina. All right, G Vegas. My final guard is Casey Morsel, former Wahoo. Look, hear me out on this angle. After he has a shitty game, scoring wise, I feel like he's always good defensively, but go back to the beginning of the ACC tournament, 8 points, followed that with 25. The next game, 6 points, followed that with double digits with 11, right? And that's carried on pretty much. At Texas Tech, he only scored 8, followed it with 11 at Oakland. Same situation. Well, against Duke, he only scored 8 points. So I'm expecting double digits. 4,700. We bargain shopping. Let's go. Anyone got Morsel?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. He's the only guy for NC State I have. It's similar to the Lance Jones play.
Continue.
Those guys are going to be on the court for like 30 plus minutes. And, they might not even score in double digits, but they're going to get a handful of rebounds, a couple assists, a couple steals, maybe a block. I just think at the under 5K price, where you got to have a couple guys in that range, I think they play more minutes than Diarra. Diarra might have a higher upside, but those guys are going to be on the court.
All right. Well, all my guards are done. Mac, do you have any? Are your guards gone?
No, both my utility guys are guards, and I took a couple stabs. I like Lawyer with Purdue. I think he's a forgotten guy. He can make shots, and then the guy that fucking set up this whole thing, O'Connell. I think O'Connell's an X factor here.
That's an interesting. I thought about that one.
Everybody
I thought about that.
about
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he has not made shots really in the NCAA tournament as much, but he came up big in the ACC tournament. We know he can hit the big shot. Give me O'Connell. What was he priced at? I think it was at 5,500, and Lawyer was 5,000 for my utility guys.
There we go. NC Nick, are you done with your guards?
No, I actually have one more guard too, because both of my utilities were guards. Back to Alabama this time. Rylan Griffin for 5,700. Three straight games in double digits. Last game he had 13, 4 boards, 8 assists, a steal, stuff in that stat sheet. And again, I got to get guys in this game.
All right, Bieniek, you got any more guards?
Yeah, I punted on a guard. I went with Jaden Taylor of NC State. He was removed from the starting lineup during this NCAA tournament run, so I think he's not really going to be rostered at all, for good reason too. He hasn't done too much in the NCAA tournament. But yeah, it was more for the price to get under the salary cap. But I mean, if you expand it through the ACC tournament run, he's played 24 minutes a game, and he's averaged 7, 3, and 1.5 assists. So it's good enough for 3.9K.
There we go. 3.9K, huh?
I mean, it's a punt play, so I'm not going to criticize it. But when DJ Horn was banged up, that's when Taylor was getting more minutes, and Horn is healthy now, so you've seen his court time diminish.
How many minutes has he got recently?
So since Horn came back, he's averaging 18.8 minutes per game.
I think you just swayed me on taking him, because I was gonna take a shot on the Alabama big man, Diabate, the freshman from New York. But no, I think you swayed me, so I will add a guard to it. Let's go, Bieniek. You're onto something with your fucking cocktail napkin and your hatred for random players. Let's go.
Grant Nelson's not random.
Well, speaking of Grant Nelson,
I think
I got him at 6,200. He's gonna put his shaft on your forehead, Noah.
My buddy at the bar. I don't know if I should say this, but my buddy at the bar, probably 4th time he's watched college basketball, specifically probably the 2nd time he's watched Alabama. He goes, a couple of beers deep, that guy kind of has a Hitler. look to him with the hair, the blonde
That's
hair.
unfair.
The mustache.
No.
I mean, I can't unsee it.
That is a
now because
horrible comparison.
he's
It is Nick Cage in Raising Arizona. Nick Cage in Raising Arizona is Grant Nelson.
Former North Dakota Bison. North Dakota State
he
Bison.
does have one of the worst mustaches ever.
That's Nick Cage in Raising Arizona. It's perfect.
One of the
Google
worst mustaches. And then growing up, when I had short hair, my mother used to say cowlick in the back, and that's just because the hair would stick up. It was just stuck.
Look, I don't know. Fashion doesn't really hit North Dakota. I don't know if you guys caught that. All right. He's he's been in North Dakota the past 3 years. All right. He's been sitting over there. North Dakota, you don't got to do shit. You just go outside. Actually, you don't go outside. You stay inside and drink. But yeah, I have Grant Nelson. Anyone else got Grant Nelson? He's going to go for 25.
Yeah, I got Grant Nelson, and I got another guy that's got some bad fucking facial hair. Caravan. He's got a bad fucking hairdo too. I got Caravan and Nelson.
He's got no excuses. He's in Connecticut. New York City's right there. I feel like you go into New York City, they're judging you. You know what I mean? You got no excuses when you're in fucking North Dakota or Alabama. I feel like everything's a pass.
Grant Nelson was too inconsistent for me, but I do have Caravan because Caravan is like Mr. Reliable. I mean, he's going to get somewhere between like 18 and 28 fantasy points, especially maybe even higher now just because they're playing such a bad defense. So I agree with Mac there.
Noah, can you Google image Nicolas Cage in Raising Arizona and put that up on the screen if you can?
Yeah, I'll do it after I give out my pick. That way we get another rotation.
We'll give out your pick right now then.
Because Nick just went. Actually, I'll give out my next two. No, I'll do my highest paid forward. I had to represent the brand. I went with Zach Edey. He's averaging 56.68 fantasy points in the postseason. You either have to take him or you have to fade him. I chose to take him. I think it's a huge advantage down low on NC State. Burns ain't stopping him. So
I mean,
I like Edey.
I played that music because he's on my roster too. There's not a chance in the hell I'm not rostering Zach Edey after everyone's giving him shit for having a few cocktails and sniffing some pussy, right? What's going on? I like this guy Edey. All right, I don't like the refs calling it, but I like him. All right,
so
let the guy have some fucking scattered ass.
My problem with that play is that there's another guy for $3,000 cheaper who's also been over 50 fantasy points in 2 of the last 3 games.
He's also on my roster.
I went Klingon.
I don't like these Connecticut bastards.
I think the UConn front court is gonna have a day. I didn't have enough for both Klingon and Caravan. Unlike Nick, I have Klingon and Samson Johnson, so I'm getting the centers points. Whenever Klingon comes out, they'll do the alley-oop shit to Samson Johnson, so all he has to do is jump and dunk, and I'll get those points because Johnson's averaging just under 10 fantasy points per game in the postseason as well.
All right. Well, I didn't have enough money for this Klingon bastard. All right.
You didn't go with the Twin Towers?
Tell me somebody has DJ Burns, right?
You're goddamn right I do. He's America's sweetheart. All right. This guy, if he ever's in Los Angeles, which who knows, he's got an open invitation to the SGPN studios, but so do the occasional homeless person if you talk to Patty C. This is the best story going in sports. I can't fade that. Give me the burn man. Give me the burn victim. DJ Burns. Let's go. 6,700 bargain shopping. He's going to be slicing and dicing, playing point forward. No one else put DJ Burns on their roster. You fucking losers.
I don't like the matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Neither do I.
I didn't have any of the 3 big guys.
That's one way to attack it too.
They're all going to get in foul trouble because
I also had Mason Gillis. That's my last guy. Mason Gillis, the vet.
Yeah.
The old Vietnam vet. He's been in college since Vietnam. Yeah.
That's my favorite matchup in the NCAA, into the Final Four. Gillis is a 4-man that can shoot it. What did Trey Townsend do to NC State? He murdered the Wolfpack. I love Gillis here. If he gets onto the court behind TKR, because TKR starts.
Yeah. I mean, let's jump in on that. You got that photo? You got that photo? Can you pull up a Grant Nelson photo?
Gillis is averaging 14 fantasy points in the postseason, and he's shooting 40% from 3.
No,
in
no,
the postseason.
no. Can you also pull up a Grant Nelson photo so we can compare?
I don't think I have the technology capability of doing that, but here we go.
I mean, come on.
Pretty good.
Zoom in on another one. Zoom in on another one there. This is perfect, dude.
That's great.
I mean, that one's good right there, but hold on, like dig a little deeper. This is fucking Grant Nelson, man.
If his hair was a tad longer, but yes, that's good.
So I gave away my whole roster. Everyone else gave away their whole roster. I know we're this unorthodox, but
yeah, Max got a couple of players to give since
I just have one. I
have one more too.
And I made the bold prediction that Edey and Burns are going to be in foul trouble. I think Klingon's going to be in foul trouble. They're going to put him in ball screens. Give me the backup at Purdue. Give me Kaufman. I like Kaufman. Whenever he's come in, he's been solid. He actually doesn't get that good a whistle either. But whenever he's called upon, he's productive. Trey Kaufman, Wren, as my last.
He starts
in front court. Yeah. Yeah. I thought he comes off the bench, actually.
No, he starts. He started every game.
Started the 4.
What?
Oh, yeah. Gills
plays the
comes
4.
off the bench. Gills comes off the bench.
Yeah.
I forgot they flipped them. Yeah. They play the same amount of minutes.
so we've given away all of our rosters. I'm going to.
No, I got one more guy.
Oh, okay.
My lowest price. This is my punt play. Feel free to criticize it, but he's the freshman for Alabama, one of their big men from Chapel Hill, North Carolina, right down the road, Jaron Stevenson. It's been hard to pinpoint which Bama big to go with from game to game, but just against Clemson, he came out of nowhere, played 25 minutes, 19 points, three boards, 2 blocks. I'll take a roll on the dice on Jaron Stevenson.
Hey, I like it. Look at that. Come on, especially that first photo. Click on that first photo. Not that one. The very first one.
That's the first one.
That's no. Go back. You were just there. The first one. Yeah. That's fun. Come on. That's spot on. That's spot on. That's spot on. Go to the one with the shirt and tie. Shirt and tie. Come on. The work good. I'm doing over here is fucking phenomenal. That one, not really, but that one, yeah, that one a little bit.
Too short a hair for me to buy in.
Oh, it's the face though, man. If you watch the movie, you'll be like. And Rob Donaldson said, "That's Hitler."
It was because of the awful.
I think he's being sarcastic.
Yes, it was. I set up the scenario of my buddy was about 4 or 5 beers deep easy, and the thought came through his head. That's just bar talk,
yeah.
Right? I mean,
sure,
yeah.
But I'm 4 or 5 drinks deep too right now, and I'm saying this. You know what I mean, folks? That's our show.
He needs to watch a World War II documentary. That ain't Hitler. That's Grant Nelson, baby.
You see that World War II in color? That thing's fucking great. You guys watch that yet?
I've seen some of that. Yeah.
Fire. Bieniek, what the hell are you doing, buddy?
You know what? I haven't watched jack shit.
It's not a movie. That's a documentary. There's no fucking actors in that movie.
It's the same thing.
Learn something about your goddamn country, you sandbagging son of a bitch. All right.
For the record, I love history. Like, history class was one of my best classes.
This fucking
then he
guy.
disappeared.
This fucking guy. He just aborts right away. He's like, George Washington was the first president, Colby. Folks, give Bieniek a follow. At Noah B77_. I think changes his goddamn Twitter every 6 months. Fucking the youth.
Go
the
Zach
youth.
Edey.
Yeah, go Zach Edey.
79.
69. At go Zach Edey 69. NC Nick's on Twitter at NC__NICK. Moneyline Max on Twitter at Moneyline_Mac. I'm on Twitter at the Colby D. God damn it. Let's enjoy these ball games. Did the Astros
breaking news? I've changed my Twitter Twitter tag name to go Zach Edey 79. I couldn't do 69.
I wonder if that girl in the room could.
She goes carry the one. The
I can judge. wait, judging.
No hit.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, they threw a no hitter.
There we go. I was gonna say, you can judge him by that one girl's reaction in the hallway. She would have ate his ass that night. Folks, look, follow away. I'm on Twitter at @TheColbyD. The College Basketball Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. We are the College Basketball Experience. YouTube.com/The College Experience. In case you're thinking, hey, this is gonna wind down. No, college baseball, Frozen 4. We're firing away. College football. This Wednesday, we're previewing the fucking MAC. All right. The MAC. And we've already released every other conference. The MAC and UMass, might I add. Oh my God. Bieniek's got it going. Go Zach Edey 79. No, let's talk about this photo. Can you dig into the first photo? Because that is epic. That is an awesome. Explain to me how this fucking photo came to fruition. Not the rounding third into home. This photo is maybe the greatest thing that's ever been on the internet.
Thank you.
And
circle change grip.
Did you pose for this or did this happen naturally?
Oh no, this was definitely a pose. This was like a couple of days before I shaved or cut off my mullet that I had senior year of
because you're also wearing a cutoff.
Yes. So this photo is one of a few that I'm mocking or just recreating a Morgan Wallen image. That's when Morgan Wallen was huge.
He's a country singer, Colby.
Yeah, I was about to say, does he play? I thought that was a guy in the Super Soaker water fights that Noah had.
I'll pull the image that I'm on the pool deck to recreate.
You have a pool in your backyard?
Yeah.
It looks like it's an above ground pool, huh?
Yeah. I'm on the pool deck to basically recreate him on his roof. If I can find a good photo. But yeah, that was something that I did for my buddies because that was hilarious before I cut my mullet off.
Sure.
Yeah.
Something's not adding up here.
Yeah. Seems like a stretch. I don't
know why you would take that picture for your buddies. What kind of buddies are we talking about here?
it was just for fun.
Zach Edey.
Things get different after a water fight. All right. After the old water balloons.
Hey,
no.
Nick, water gun wars, basically. We called it water
as a
wars.
Senior in high school.
Senior in high school. Like my entire county, high schools, all do it. Senior year.
All right.
In public, like not on you can't do it on private property. All the seniors would team up, teams of 5, water gun wars. If you got sprayed, you were out.
He's from Michigan. Nick, your wife is from Michigan. Does she know anything of this?
West side though. She was complete other side of the state. Jake Paquin was in the chat the other day and he said he had not heard of such a thing.
Yep, that's new. It must be a Detroit thing or
yep.
Yeah, it's a Detroit thing. Eminem did this.
Clark goes, yeah, Edey fumbled the bag on a threesome there. He could have had a 16th.
That is true.
There was like 8 girls.
No, you can't go higher than 10. Purdue, they can't deal with the double digits. Double digits, they can't deal with that. Hey, gotta keep it 9 or less.
Oh man, folks, we are the College Basketball Experience. We'll be back tomorrow. Appreciate everyone rocking all 479 of you. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Till next time, check out all of our other feeds: College Baseball Experience, College Football Experience, FCS College Football Experience, Big 12 Experience, Ryan and Rush Show, the Frozen 4 podcast we dropped, the UFL Gambling Podcast, the CFL Gambling Podcast. We're just firing away. Sports Gambling Podcast. We got a special guest coming tomorrow night. Until next time, folks, this is the College Basketball Experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Rocking it
first was hell without vodka. I pop up in spots, they screaming, new clockwork. I'm dilated, the fuck off, I ain't doing it. Before weathermen dropped, they thought I might have ruined it. Elusive, I just deny rumors. Smile and give punchlines with dry humor. See what the future brings. In 03, I got on MTV. Time is bugged, that's the message I'm sending them. Sign with Slug and survive beef with Eminem. I mention different events in my sentences. It's dangerous to reminisce or remember it. Still it's evidence, check 1, 2, 1, 2. Less punches and spit what I've been through. I stayed here, got booed, but kept rapping. The same year got sued by Kurt Nappin. Just ahead of my time.